I'm going to be making a quilted jacket, and I'm going to cheat because I bought this quilt used, so I'm not going to spend all the time making a big quilt first. I am going to use this one, and it's going to be awesome. It is so pretty. Let me just show it to you here. And this is huge, so there's lots of fabric in this. And I washed it, and you have to be really careful when you wash quilt because some of it actually, some of the color didn't stay, so that's not so cool. But that's what it's like when I'm making things. And the pattern I'm going to use is an old rain jacket that I had. It's a raincoat that ended up being not so waterproof anymore, so there wasn't really any point to it. So I simply cut it up because then all these parts can work as pattern parts because the fit of it was quite nice. So here you can see one of the front sides, and we have a back, and we have a hood, which is also really cool. So I'm just going to add a centimeter or two for seam allowance on these parts, and then I'm basically good to go. So the most important bit of this is placing the back, because you want the, I don't know how you like it, but I think I want one of these patterns on the back, like straight in the middle. See, like I'm actually going to use this bottom border edge here to do it like this, even though I might make this a little bit longer. So I'll make the edge of the raincoat go to this edge, and then I will place that like this up here. And I have these great pattern weights, and then I also have rocks. So a couple of centimeters seam allowance. You could mark it first and then cut afterwards. That was the back cut. This goes off. I can use that for another jacket at some point. That was one side, so I'm just going to place it over here to make sure that the pattern placement is the same on the other side. So how do we do that? We can let it align with this one. We just check. Yeah, that is good. And that is our two front pieces. And now we need the hood and the sleeves. So let's see if we can utilize the fabric here so we save as much of the quilt as possible. Then we have the exact middle of the pattern. It's a shame that it doesn't fit there, but it doesn't. So let's see. Yeah, and then we have the middle there. That fits approximately like that. for the scissors actually to cut through. Maybe I should just cut one layer at a time. Sleeve's done. And then I'm just cutting through one layer of fabric at a time because this is quite thick. And so here we have the beautiful pieces for the quilt jacket. 2 front pieces, 1 back piece, 2 sleeves, and 2 pieces for the hood. I have the pieces. So what needs to happen now is that they need to be stitched together. But before I'm going to do that, I'm going to use my serger on all the seams. Sorry, not on all the seams, on all the raw edges here, because we have the padding opening up and we don't want that. So serger or zigzag stitch all the way around all the edges. And I'm not going to do the bottom bit here because I'm going to keep that as it is, use it as a detail. I love my serger. That was one of the front parts done. That was all the pieces. I'm just going to cut all the extra bits of thread off. Yeah, that didn't take too long. The serger is so quick and good. But of course you have to be quite careful of your fingers. And I'm going quite quick on it, but I've also used mine for several years, so I feel safe with it. But if you've only just recently got a serger, then please be careful. And I'm using this green serger thread, and that's because I'm not that caught up in what colors of thread I use. I'm pretty happy-go-lucky. I'll go with whatever is there. Oh, here we have all the pieces. So now it's time to assemble them, and for that I don't need my serger anymore, so I can turn that off and just pop it over here and get my sewing machine back. We are starting with the 2 pieces for the front and the big piece for the back. So the back piece placed up to front with fabric facing up to front like this, and then we've got one of the front pieces placing it where it's supposed to go. Here we have it down the middle, and the other front piece goes there, and then you stitch this area here and this area here. Then we will have a front, 2 front pieces that are connected to the back piece. And I will just put some clips on this one here so I can just hold the one I'm starting with. I'm just going to hold it in place because that's how I roll. Feel free to pin it or want to clip it, do whatever you like. And I'm using a seam allowance that's close to a centimetre, so there might be a bit more space, but I actually think that's cool with this because it's more padded material than the raincoat before, which was like supposed to be more snug. So I think that'll be fine. So now we have the two front pieces stitched together with the back, and because this is just made from a jacket I cut up, and because I am a bit sloppy, these pattern pieces might not fit together perfectly, but I'm okay with that. So just be aware that you might get upset that it's not looking completely straight, but I'm okay with it. We have the three pieces now stitched together, looking nice. I'm really happy about the placement here of the pattern on the back. So now we have to get a sleeve in, and I have my sleeves here, and some sleeves are the same on both sides, are the same on front to back, and some aren't. So some sleeves will have one of these curves that will be a lot wider than the other one, or like more taller, rounded. In this case they are exactly the same, so I don't have to worry about which sleeve to attach to which side, because that doesn't really matter. But I'm going to find the middle of the sleeve here, and I'm just going to try to find the middle seam of the shoulder and then put it in place, and then I'm going to see approximately how will this fit. Yeah, you might have to make some small kind of wrinkles, gatherings here, not wrinkles, gatherings, which might make it a little bit puffy, but I'm just sewing, and we'll see how it goes along. But basically, again, you can pin it, you can clip it, you can even hand stitch it at first to be sure that it's correctly placed. I'm just finding these two corners and then just starting sewing them together. And then just trying to fold them out here as I go. Now there is a bit more space on the sleeve fabric, so I'm just gonna kind of make it fit by squeezing it. And we'll see how much puffiness it will actually add to the sleeve. And then I want to be sure that the ends meet down here, so I'll then put the clip in again, and then I'll just follow the lines here, because then I know that I have a little bit of extra fabric here, and I want to place it rather on the shoulder than kind of down here. So I'm over that worst bit now, so now it's just smooth sailing, easy sewing down to the edge, down to the corner. Cool. That is one sleeve done. Now it's about folding it up like this. We have the back piece. The back piece is here. We have the front piece, and we have the sleeve. So this is an important place. These two seams, they are important. I'm going to put a clip here. So basically I will start from this seam here, these two seams, and then go all the way along this edge down to the bottom of the sleeve. And then again I'll start from this point and then go all the way down to the bottom of the jacket. And here we hope that this will fit. So if it doesn't, then I'll have to find some other solution for that. But I'm really hoping it does. I'm starting here. Sleeve seam. Now there's quite a bit of fabric to get through. See, now I'm just gonna hold it out so I can see approximately will they fit at the bottom, and they do look like they will. Yes, they matched up. Then again, from this under the sleeve seam, and then down towards the sleeve opening. And here we have a bit where the two ends don't match. They don't end together, but I'm okay about that. This end will either have some bias tape on or it'll be folded up. So we'll make that work. And now it's just doing the exact same thing for the other sleeve and the other side. I have tried on the coat now. I have turned these sleeve openings up. And I think this is the length that I want them to be at. So I'm just going to stitch them in place here because the ends have a serger seam, so that's all fine. Then I'm just deciding, I'm actually not quite sure that I want the hood on. I might not. I might just want to keep it like this. And then of course it's the matter whether I'm actually going to have a button opening or do a zipper or what I'm going to do. I'm not quite sure. I have just tried it on, and it's quite close to being what I want it to be. I thought there was a bit much of an overlap up here, and I think that was because of how the old rain jacket was made and with the hood and everything. So I will probably just take a little bit off here, as you can see, this bit, like this much here. Take that off with the serger real quick, and then I think I'll put bias tape. Actually, I don't need to take it off with the serger because I'm going to add bias tape all the way around, so that will actually cover all these ends. I didn't even have to use the serger here. I'm going to take these two front panels, front pieces, and I'm basically just going to cut them off like this, because there was slightly bit too much overlap here compared to how much overlap there was lower down. Actually, I might take a little bit more. And then I've decided against using the hood. So I have the hood to do something else with, but I'm not going to use the hood as it is, or should I? Should I maybe use it? This is my super good wall system, and this is where I keep my bias tape. So I will just check and see what colors fit in with this. Okay, that's perfect, isn't it? That fits. That almost matches too well. Is it more fun to put? No, we'll put this on. That matches really well. And of course, the important thing is to check if there's actually enough to go the whole length, the whole distance here. We need it all the way around, and down. And there is just enough. So, when you do the bias tape, you start in one end, And you can pin it, you can put some clips on, you can do pretty much what you want to. You can also just freestyle it like I often do. But basically here we have to put it a little bit in because we've got that serger seam, that serger visible there. And then you just stitch down here and all the way through in this fold, in this line, and of course make sure that you've got the serger seam on that side so you don't turn it out and then you can see the actual serger seam. That's not so good. And then it's just about moving this around and putting it into the machine and starting. And I've got a bit of an overlap at the bottom, so I can fold that in somehow when I'm done putting it on, attaching it. And follow the line, follow the fold as long as you can, or not as long as you can, because it goes all the way, but follow it as well as you can. Now we get to that part where I cut the serger seam off because it was a bit too wide. So I'm just being careful here that I have it all, yes, where it's supposed to be. That's cool. And then I go to the top where the neck is, and then I'm going to finish this side off at first. So basically, you can fold it in several ways. I am going to fold it all the way in like this, so there is nothing peeking out at the front. And then I'm just going to fold this bit in, a little overlap, and then stitch all the way down here. And here at the top neckline you don't have to do that because we need to finish that off in a different way. Cutting that bit off, and then we've got a beautiful stitch here, a beautiful seam, and we've got the bias tape on the inside. That looks quite nice. I'm going to do that with the other side as well. Where is my bias tape? It's there. And then we've got the last bit here for the neckline, and it does look like there'll be enough. Great. And here we're folding it in, giving it a little extra fold. Yeah, this might not be the best way to do it, but it works for me. And then folding the bias tape all the way over. Into the machine, and fold, fold, fold. Now we have the two fronts looking super good. awesome. And the pieces are aligned. It couldn't be better. Now we've got the neckline, the opening here to do. I will do that the same way with the bias tape. I'll start here and then let it go all the way around. And even the tiniest little bit as a leftover. So bias tape is on all the way around here, and basically now I'm going to fold it in the same way as before and then fold this bit down all the way in. I might try to make a little bit of the bias tape just peek through here. I think that will be possible. That could look quite cute. I'm cutting a little bit of the extra bit off there. Let's see. Folding this in, and down, having a tiny little bit of bias tape peeping through. And I'm just remembering to fold in the bit at the edge. Nice. Now I just need to figure out some kind of way to close it. Oh, and we also have the sleeves, and I had them folded so the length was good, and you can see that doesn't match up perfectly, but that is what it's like when it's handmade. And I'm just going to stitch them in place. I can put the sleeves here inside or on top of the machine, and then just guiding it along gently. Like that. That was one sleeve. So soon will it be done. It's really, really close. Putting the sleeve onto the machine. And that's it. That is it. That is a quilted coat done. Not with buttons yet, or a zipper, or however I will decide to finish it, but it's still a coat and it's still done. You can make a belt and then just wear it like this. And yeah, that was good with this overlap. Now it's slightly smaller. That works really well. That was fun and a big trend at the moment. And you know, if you can get a quilt like this, and of course I was super lucky because I got one in the thrift shop, or was it like a used marketplace? Yes. But anyways, you can be lucky, or you can have a nan who might have made like a bundle of these and she doesn't know what to do with them, and then this is a fun solution to make something that you can use. And it's still winter here, so I'll have fun with it outside. And this is what it looks like in the snow, in the cold. And as soon as I get some closing mechanism on it, it's going to be so nice. It is plenty warm, at least. It really is. See you next time. Bye.